Greetings from Barcelona. This is Dr. Jeffrey Scott, and this is my Market MRI Pro update for Monday, September 8th, 2025. I'm getting this out what's early for me before perhaps the final update in the program because I'm coming home and I've got an early flight out of Barcelona into Miami tomorrow. I title this one, Mega Caps Lead the Markets Higher. Inflation data coming Wednesday and Thursday. Again, my name is Jeffrey Scott, and my email address is marketmripro@gmail.com, and my Google group is called Top Down Trader. This is for educational purposes only. Intent of the video is to demonstrate how I use top-down tools to support my trading. Trading involves risk. You are solely responsible. I can buy or sell anything I talk about. Trading stocks and options should be considered risky. You should always consult with your financial advisor. The reason why I'm here in Barcelona is because I'm presenting research at a lung cancer conference. I am not a financial advisor, and I've got tools in many platforms. Oh, I shouldn't even show you this anymore, but I will continue this since I showed it by mistake. I forgot to take it out through Wednesday evening, which will be the 10th, which is the Labor Day discount to $12.95. That includes all available discounts, year 2 and beyond at $4.95 for Market MRI Pro. Join my Google group. It's called Top Down Trader. Sign into Google Groups. Click all groups, find the group that you want to join, and let me know how you want to be contacted. My live meeting is October 26th and 27th at the Marriott Palm Beach Gardens. 2 days packed of education software instruction. John Person has his the 24th and 25th, so his is Friday, Saturday, mine Sunday and Monday. You can fly in Thursday night and go home Tuesday and get 2 different educators in one weekend and 1 airline ticket. Mine's $12.50, and I'll give you breakfast and lunch on Sunday and Monday. Sunday night, we'll do a dinner cruise on Stocks and Docks, if weather allows. If not, I'll get you a good steak dinner somewhere close. And we'll see about Monday night. Depends on what folks want to do. Again, it's a full-service Marriott. You need to give me an email, shout, and I'll send you some links. Love to have you join. And I'm going to not have more than 12 people in the room, and that means personal attention. If you attend the meeting, I will give you a pretty much lifetime rebate towards any of my tools that you don't have. Now, that would only include those that I can control price, which would be in TradeStation, TradingView, Market MRI Pro, and also I'll probably have some consideration I can do in Metastock or use it for next year's live meeting in Florida. I don't control pricing or can apply my discount to the Orange County meeting. News and earnings. So we got the NFIB Optimism Index. I guess some revision of some job numbers on Tuesday. Wednesday starts the inflation story. Big earnings tomorrow. We have Oracle after the close, and that should be interesting. Now I've got Oracle and Rubrik, and I'll have to decide during the day what I'm going to do with both of them. Fortunately, there's internet on airplanes. It's a judgment call to hold stocks over earnings dates. It's bad judgment to not know when your stock's earnings date is scheduled. For more information about anything that I talk about, the program, my meetings, marketmripro@gmail.com. If you need technical support, installation support, you got an issue with the product, coding at marketmripro.com will get you Praveen, and consider joining the Top Down Trader Google group. On to the charts. Let's kill this. So, interesting day. You could see that over here that the diamonds closed at the top of the range, as did the Russell, 2/3 of the range for the Spider. But there wasn't much movement. The Qs were up 0.5%, almost 0.49. Bitcoin's up 0.44. Diamonds were up 0.26. Spiders 0.25. Russell 0.21. Dollar was down again 0.33, finishing at the low of the session, and volatility was down 1.86. I mean, clearly the market is passing time until we get to the inflation numbers. I mean, after the weak employment last week, and we may see some revisions to that on Tuesday, a further lowering of employment. Everybody expects the Fed to cut. What could cause the Fed to change their mind? I think if there's a spike in inflation, and will we see the tariff inflation? So I think there's a lot of risk going into Wednesday and Thursday. New high, new lows came down a bit today on the NYSE. The NY new highs minus new lows, same number pretty much as yesterday on the Nasdaq. What might be concerning is only 44% of the S&P 1500 were up, 51% of the Nasdaq, and 47% of the NYSE. So even though our indices were up across the board, it really was not a very bullish day in the market, which surprised me because my account gapped up and did really well today. As I said, I have Oracle, and Oracle really has more than recovered the sell-off that I have commented on maybe a week and a half ago. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and I've already put collars on. And that's one of the things I'll talk about at the live meeting, how I manage my stocks going into earnings dates. I will also tell you that the other stock that I had mentioned that I don't know if it was during the education program I did, I mentioned that I got hurt by Oracle and AGX. Well, Oracle is, I'm just looking right now, so I'm not lying. Oracle is turned positive. But what's really cool is, and I'll show at the live meeting how I manage AGX. Even though the stock is way down from when I bought it, or the options, I'm actually not far from break even because of how I protected the stock and managed that. So I think there's more to buying and selling options than just what to pick. It's how you manage them, and I'll go into great detail at the live meeting. Maybe I'll even schedule a special session to talk about that online. If we look at the performance of the sectors today, we were led by technology and discretionary. What lagged? Boy, defensive plays. Utilities, real estate, and staples. If somebody thought the market was heading towards a sell-off imminently, do you think the defensive things would be trailing? I don't. On the themes, silver, uranium, lithium, blockchain, antiviruses, software, video games, cybersecurity. Boy, these are growth stock or momentum types of themes. So kind of a good day for me, and I hope you all made some money as well. If we go into the timing brief, you'll see there's actually been a change. And that change is the Qs turned back to a buy signal, which is interesting because today was kind of a doji indecision day, but it was way up. It was up, not way up, I should take back the word way, but it was up off of the prior close. These are daily charts. A doji on the spider, again, up from the prior close. A kind of a hanging man, perhaps, on the Russell, but up. And then you have the diamonds. So right now on the daily chart, the Russell, the diamonds, and the Qs are still bullish. And even though we're still red down here, I got to discount that a little bit where I see where we are regards to the WMA and recognizing that the bongo by design takes a while to fire. On the weeklies, we're still remaining a buy on each of the major indices. So I think the uptrend is still intact. I am a little bothered by that spider. I'm more concerned about the CPI and PPI that are coming this week and the impact on rates. And this will be meaningful. If they come in hot and we start saying no rate cut, the market's going to go down. It's going to fulfill the September omen of being a weak month. But if rates come in line, I think we're off to the races, at least into the rate cuts, and we'll see if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type of an event. Um, if I look at the U.S. index charts, start with the spider. And again, you saw this in the timing. Inside, kind of an inside bar doji, indecision day all over, up 0.25. We are well above the 50. I mean, right now the 50 is 2.5%, 3% away. A pullback there would not be anything meaningful, in my opinion. It might hurt short term if you have options, but long term, it could still be very consistent with the uptrend. A pullback to the 17, well, that's almost a given. A break down to the 200 would be a lot more painful. We're in an uptrend with lots of support underneath, still bullish on the spiders. With the asterisk, we got to be aware of the news coming. On the Qs, I could say exactly the same thing in a beautiful uptrend above the 17 and the 50, a pullback to the 15 as we did back here. Painful short term, nothing out of the ordinary. And we'll look at some of the breadth indicators, get a sense of what's going on. And just to remind you on all of these, we are in that month of September, which is typically tough on seasonality, and eventually we're going to get into the last quarter, and November and December are pretty awesome from seasonality. So on the day with that doji up 0.49. If we look at the next one, which would be the diamonds, and I guess that sound must mean football. Again, some more weak seasonality, but holding above the 17 and the 50, and the diamonds were up 0.27. So really no damage that I can see today. The leader on the day, or one of the things that held up well, I'm not sure it was the leader, let's see, 0.20 was the Russell. This has been the leader for a while, and we're kind of in a interesting channel here. We'll have to get some more drawing tools one day. I don't know, we can draw it in many different places. But we're at the top of the channel, but we're in a beautiful uptrend. Again, weak seasonality right in here, and then it picks up going into the end of the year. The high-low jump on the Russell's only 68. So I think the markets look poised to go higher. I think we have a pivotal news event coming with the CPI and PPI, and that means bets have to be tempered. If we look at the VIX was down 0.5%, and one of the things that's certainly supporting the rally in gold, is the dollar, and the dollar broke down below the 50, was down 0.33%. So markets look consistent with going higher. Again, things can change on a dime with big news events. If we look at commodities, gold, boy, we talked about this, and I actually told you when I was going to buy it. And I looked at gold, and I said, this looks like a really awesome place to buy this breakout right here. And that 317, it doesn't look like much, 17 points, 5% move in options can be a lot of money. And that's how I played GLD. So gold is doing well. It was up again another 1.14, which is interesting because it was actually trading lower in the futures overnight. Right now it's down a little bit in the futures, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. If we look at the other commodities, silver, which has also been strong, was up 0.76. Oil's trying to get back above the 200, up 0.5%. Natural gas trying to break above the 50 and failing. And look at what rates did. Here is your 10-year down 1% and your 30-year down 1.78, both breaking down. Breaking down rates, I mean, this market really thinks that we got a rate cut coming in, and I do too. But what happens if we got a hot CPI or PPI? That's called stagflation. Markets hate stagflation. Frankly, gold hates stagflation. That is a bit worrisome. So we're going to see what happens this week. They could move the markets. We got kind of bell-shaped curves, and even though we got a few stocks building up on the NYSE, 6%, really nothing that says anything to be concerned about on the buckets. When I look at market breadth, you can see the NYSE closed pretty much at the high. This was the high bar here. Nice uptrend. Volume, nothing major on the volume today. Stocks above the 20, 15, 200 going sideways. And then on the NYSE, new high, new lows up, AD line down, and up, down, volume up, and no new signals here. On the NASDAQ composite, actually looks like we perhaps had an intraday high. Oh my God, can you believe that? But we closed well off of it. Still well above the 50. Again, on both of these, pullbacks to the 50 happen. And typically it's a great place to buy stocks. Volume less than the prior session. Not much going on in the stocks above the moving averages. And here, new high, new lows at 99, holding stable. AD line positives is up down volume and no signals down there. The market breadth 13-week new high, new low. No signal, zero point 0.5 on the Spider, 0.71 on the NASDAQ, down to 0.84 in the Russell. So some of the potential froth came off today, and down to 0.66 on the S&P 1500. So there's no signal there to worry us. We're going to start to look for positive divergence um, on the RSI or the AD lines. Um, don't see that just yet. So, my sense of the markets, which I've said multiple times, is we have potential shockers this week, which could sink the market. But if we can get through CPI and PPI, I think we go to new highs and probably ignore the September swoon. But it's all about the CPI and PPI, folks. On a seasonality basis, no, we're not going there. Ratio charts, you can see communications is still the strength in the market, and discretionary, and what's really weak, stables. Utility, and yeah, thing moves around, so I have to find everything again. Here's your staples down here as well, and healthcare sort of stuck. So that's the market. Let's take a look at the JAS layout. 37.24 today. Let's go into the top down. Let's look at performance. Tech, communications. Do I want those? Or do I want the cyclicals? Let's look by 2-day momentum. All right, tech, communications, healthcare. Wow, I don't want that. Do I? I guess I'll throw basic materials, which was the third most movement. This gives me the industry groups there. Now let's rank them and take the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are the 10 industry groups in the three top sectors. Why do those look different than the S&P 500? Because they're the Jeffrey 3700. It's a very broad-based look at the markets. Over here, we have a list of 549 stocks. So I'm going to make that smaller. Let's filter 5 and 500,000. And I really don't want to be buying stocks after a big rally that are below their 200-day. Let's hit OK, and that takes it down to 212. What I like to do is throw one more filter on there called a pullback and an uptrend filter. Hit OK, and that brings me to 68. Let's rank them by up impulses, and let's take a look at the first one, NTES. Well, this is beautiful. Here's a big gap up. You had a CPR signal, an EMS because it went from red to black. It'll be a green line tomorrow. A big gap, volume, breakup momentum, big move in relative strength, OBV turning up. This is my new dynamic system signal as well. Is it extended? It is not. I think this looks beautiful. This is a tech play. Let's see what we have. Earnings back August 14th, so that's not what drove it. It does pay a dividend, which is 2.65%. Growth here far bigger than PE. I love to see that. And let's see if there was any news on NetEase today. Overlooked analyst approved dividend plays. Earnings call. Deferred revenue surges at fastest pace, so we know there's future revenue coming in. That looks interesting. I don't know why it's twice, but it's still interesting. Roku, this has been in a big uptrend. Nice move today. This was the prior close, so you got yourself a CPR. You got a gap, but not the one that counts as a big gap. And is it? Nope, it's not at the high jump. And it had volume and a breakout. NVMI, uptrend, pullback, breakout, taking out the 50. That looks interesting as well. Another technology play. Again, good earnings per share growth. This plays at a PE of 31. There is no dividend. And again, was there any news today? And remember, folks, all you got to do is click on the link. Nothing today. I just want to demonstrate that you can hydrogen footprint. Okay. Is that what this is? I think they gave us the wrong stock, or I clicked something wrong. Yeah, it's Nova. They had an offering on the 3rd. All right. LYV, Live Nation, that's a beautiful uptrend pullback and a breakout. That one looks good. So all I did here was whoa, Life 360, nice uptrend, big move today, but this one's getting extended. See the 100 up here. As I'm just demonstrating the power of the tool, I took the top three sectors, top 10 industries in those three sectors, looked for stocks that are in uptrends that may have pulled back and are breaking out, and that's where the impulses are driving us to. Cadence was one that did well today as well. And this one might be less of a challenge than some of the others we looked at. A gap up here, and that was, I think, on earnings July 29th. Let's take a look. Yep, beat earnings and beat on revenue. Pull back here in a flag, and guess what happened probably today? I'd say it broke out of the flag, connected two highs before today. Now, it's still got the seasonality of sidewaysness, but that's, boy, I like that one a lot. It's expensive, so to me that means I'd be playing options. This is one of the stocks I own that I decided I'd stay in it as long as it didn't get out of control from this sort of a Darvis box. And it broke out today, but it has earnings tomorrow, so it remains to be seen what I'm going to do during the day tomorrow. So I can kill all that and go back to the impulse list. And let's show you my favorite scan that I like to do. And this is a bottoms up play. So I'm going to do price and volume, price over 5, volume over 500, stock above the 200. Let's look at the 2 days momentum up signal. And one of the reasons why I liked Rubric is you could see it's showing that from the squeeze. So this one's a setup, I think, to move on earnings. AVO. But I would never enter a position before earnings without a significant edge, and I didn't just give you one. Uptrend, bit of a pullback, and a big reversal day today. Opened up, traded very low, closed near the high of the day. This is Mission Produce Inc. I don't know anything about it. CANG is a cheap stock, kind of a loosey-goosey looking stock, and it had a big move in the market. Off of the 50, breaking out. Notice everyone here is going to have these two blue dots. KC General Stores, old name. I don't know if these guys are in a takeout or something. Gears up for Q1 print. Well, that was there today. So I don't like buying things before their earnings, and their earnings are scheduled for, they were today. And let's see what we got. We got a 19% growth. Big surprise on earnings, 11.45 on revenue, a surprise. Pays a $2 dividend, which is only 0.42%. And it's a $500 stock, so I'll probably pass. CGNT, Cognite, don't know anything about them. The earnings are either were today or tomorrow. No, this is tomorrow. Your time hasn't come yet. I am in Europe, so we're 6 hours ahead. DMAC, worth taking a look at. Nice stair step breakout, and then a big breakout here. You got your two momentum days in a row. Looks like it might be an IPO when there's nothing there. Let's look at the weekly. It doesn't look like an IPO there. That's the monthly, so it's probably, yeah, it's an IPO, but it's an IPO going back to '08 if this is all them. Something's going on. When you look at, take a step back, it doesn't look that exciting. But I might do a little research and try and figure out, why does this look so pretty? Something must be happening. Positive interim phase 1 and preeclampsias. All right, well, that's a good reason to go up, but that was back in August. Don't know what happened today. Elanco Healthcare Corporation. Nice stepwise move and a breakout today. Nice. Two EMSs. GEHC. I like buying things breaking through the 200 on good volume. Was there earnings today? I don't think so. Nope. Pays a teeny weeny dividend. INOD. I looked at this thing over the weekend and thought this was ready to run, and I didn't talk about it because it was below the 50. But look at this breakout above the 50. Um, Volume, 3 days in a row momentum. That's a super strong stock right there. I might look at this one, Nutanix, NTNX, uptrend, pullback, breakout above the 50, not extended, looks nice. We already looked at Rubric. This has earnings, so you got to be careful. SBSW, tell me I'm still doing good. A nice Goldwater, a nice minerals play breaking out here, and Zscaler. I have learned over time never to ignore the two blue dots. So there are a number of things that I showed you that look interesting today. I'm more interested, frankly, in managing my current positions this week um, because of that CPI and PPI. If something looks great, and maybe that net ease looks great, I might enter some positions, but I got to get through the risk, and the risk is CPI, PPI. Remember, your number one job as a trader is not to lose your capital. Your number two job is not to lose your capital. And the way you don't lose your capital is you manage the risk. Have an awesome Monday or awesome night, a great Tuesday. Depends how I feel when I get back into the States. I may or may not do one of these Tuesday night. Take care, everybody, and thank you for watching. And click the subscribe, the alarm, and we'll see you soon.